Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is our Saturday edition of Rasaji Speaks. Don't forget, it's not too late to sign up for Master David's live class. I would imagine the energy today coming out of Tucson is probably going to be off the charts. Tell him when you stop by to mention Lamaji sent you. Let's check out what today's title of our lesson is. I think you'll find it very, very interesting. The title is Rooted in Unity, Embracing the Symbolism of the Tree of Life. Okay, all right. Let's see what we have about the Tree of Life. The phrase of the Tree of Life has many origins and meanings. In the Jewish tradition, the Tree of Life has been a powerful image for thousands of years, appearing in the Bibles, the book of Genesis, later the book of Proverbs. In Genesis, the Tree of Life is a symbol of the divine between humanity and divinity, and it was introduced at the same time as the tree of good and of tree of knowledge of good and evil. So that's Genesis 2, chapter 2, verses 9, if you're interested in checking that out. What is the origin of the tree of life? The tree of life is a symbolism that had a long history in the reign. Kings from Assyria, called Syria today, and in ancient Mesopotamia and elsewhere would use the verdant tree in an image to invoke the wonders of fertility of their domain. The two times associated with each tree, however, wisdom and immortality, very, very interesting, are connected in each other. What does the tree of life actually mean? The tree of life represents the afterlife and a connection between earth and heaven, on earth through us as it is in heaven. Ancestors, basically. See, we talk about the reason we're building the Lama Serum, the reason that we're building the ranch, the reason that we're building the retreat center is for a model, number one, so that people will start to build them around the world. You bring it into creation, you open up a psychic portal, people start to feel a good energy. Where is it coming from? Hey, I want some of that. It's a natural happening as you pierce the psychic portals. We're going to have a retreat center somewhere between 150 to 200 acres. That's a nice little retreat center. This retreat center looks like a portion of the Amazon rainforest. It's giving it as close to the feeling that Boganathar had when he came to China, only 12 to 1400 years after Noah's flood. Our ranch should be in the 4 to 800 acre situation. We're going to use that to train teachers to become adepts, hands-on Master David and Lama Ji as we evolve. But we're also going to, in both places, teach gardening. We're going to teach art, teach literature, teach music, who knows, dance, yoga. All of that is going to be hands-on training. In the retreat center, it'll be 5 days of retreat. probably very laid back. It'll only be like, 1 or 2 hours a day that are organized. The rest of the time, you go where you want. You want to go over here and learn some gardening with people who've been gardening for 30, 40, 50 years? Go ahead. You want to go over here and you want to interact with livestock? Go ahead. You want to go over here and see where we're created a pond and putting brim and bass and trout in water and how we get them to, migrate and in there. Go ahead. You want to take the Tai Chi class in the mid-morning or the one later in the afternoon, the one after sunrise or the one before sunset? Probably the only two things that will be organized during the day. You want to meditate in one of the houses that we're building there, or do you want to meditate out in nature itself as you hear the mountain stream run through them? Sound pretty cool, right? There will be a need for 5 to 10 people to work at the retreat center, that much or more in the ranch, and a lot more in the lamasery. The lamasery will be something between 1,200 to 3,600 acres. It really depends on how the property is more arranged in the proximity of the Tennessee or North Carolina mountains. So we're looking now at some different properties. I have 3 or 4 people helping me look. We'll find them. We probably are nailing down the retreat center. And then I would not be surprised between now and 2027 that we'll have in our possession all 3 pieces of property, which means we're protecting that land for the Divine Mother. See, we want to bring back the Ediatic state of consciousness, the tree of life. Everything became a mess after we left the tree of life and embraced the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It made academia and everything that academia produced like some idol of God. And you can't have a false idol before God. Remember what happened to the Hebrew people when they left Egypt? Remember what happened? Moses comes down from Mount Sinai. He comes down, he sees people mating with animals and stuff, asks the Lord to forgive them, for they know not what they do, and the lower consciousness. We're dealing right now with incredible different ranges of consciousness. As a matter of fact, we've never seen this many people at the different levels of consciousness. If we looked at 8 billion people, we could actually make a case that there's primarily 8 very clearly defined different states of consciousness on the earth. And what makes that interesting, within each dimension, there's only 7 major frequencies, but there's 8 billion people. And they're being influenced greatly by the frequency and level of consciousness below and above. As above, so below. It's very interesting to watch how this is playing out. We're in the group where the highest consciousness reigns with our organization called the Circle of Chi. There's a good chance we're at the spearhead, the epitome of that vibration, where we're staying somewhere between the 6th to 7th frequency on 3D to 2nd and 3rd frequency in 4D. That will be raised on these 3 properties, just like it's raised in a tour. It's raised in a tour for 72, right, to 120 hours in 3 to 5 days to give you a taste to let your physical body begin to catch up with your energy body and see how that feels. For you to go from 110 to 220 one day to 330 and then to 440. And with that comes transformation. With that comes ascension, quote unquote, while we refer to them as the Ascension Tour. Speaking of tours, Tucson was it was the bomb. It's what the kids call the bomb. I mean, it was as close to perfect. It's like the first five for the people, and including the staff, was kind of like a rehearsal. Well, some rehearsals become real like. I was in the entertainment business for years. We would have dry rehearsals where we wouldn't wear a costume. We didn't carry that much about how good the sound was on the recording, what the lighting was on stage. But then we would have a technical rehearsal at least 2 days before the performance. In the technical rehearsal, it was pertinent, really pertinent. The sound equipment worked right, the lighting equipment worked right, everything was Joe-to. Dress rehearsals where it all came together. A lot of times between the tech rehearsal and the dress rehearsal, you couldn't tell any difference from opening night, right? That's kind of what's happened with the Ascension tours. It's been building, energy's been good, it's gotten better. We got more professional, more organized, more focused. With the help of Lynette and John and Andy and Master David and Mita and Emmy and Dawn and Nate and, all of our people, Raquel, we have a hell of a team. They're all passionate about this mission like most of you are. Because of that, it was, as the saying goes, nothing can stop an idea that's time has come. That was evident in Tucson. Well, you come out of something like that and you look, Grand Rapids is around the corner. It's July 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's amazing. Just 3 days out of the event, already 50% of the tickets are sold. Yesterday, the live performance had a chance to get them. They might be gone. It's up on the website, but I don't know for how long. I would imagine by teachers training next week or before, maybe even over the weekend, that link will probably be closed. If you're being called to go, go. Here's another factor that exists. We had 95 to 98 people in Tucson, the largest group we'd ever had. We never had anything over 60, 63 people before. It was a 50% increase. There's 85 to 90 spots in Grand Rapids. I already know before this broadcast that 45 to 50 of those seats are already taken. See, and here's another thing. So we had more people for fewer tickets. Not only that, we had people from Canada, Australia, Japan, right? France. And some of these people, even the internationals, they get it. They're coming back to Grand Rapids, right? Leland Miles coming all the way back from Hawaii. That's a haul. They got family there, of course, but it's a big deal. Why? Why? Because they know they've come home. And they know we were expecting them. They know Lama G was starting to build this in heaven before I got here. 1956, this body was born. In 1968, 12 years later, when the monkey came around, that spirit and soul of Hanuman that's been in so many incarnations now decided it was that time. It was that time to bring back the chivalry of the Ramayana. It was time to bring back the ruling power of Lord Ram. the purity of goddess Sita. They ruled for 10 millenniums. Think about that. What would it be like to have peace, prosperity, love, the tree of life, Eden anchored again for another 10 millenniums? Maybe could be blessed and even longer. It's been a long time since we've even had a millennium without much strife. Think about it. It's powerful what we're doing here at the Circle of Chi. I hope that you're aware of what we're doing. I know in Tucson, I saw a lot of happy faces. I saw a lot of love. I saw a lot of caring. Things change when you take your focus off yourself and you put your focus on other people. That's why the first two pillars of the science of abundance gets us off our butts and puts us into motion. You know, my mom, I love her dearly. She has a church that she just loves. Been going there over 2 decades. I always tell her, I said, Mom, if you believe in the pasture and in the movement, why don't you get involved? She's not ready. She's kind of scared to do that. We talked about that yesterday in our live broadcast, right? Are you a teacher that's teaching, but yet you're scared to teach? Are you a person that wants to take Master David's music class, but because you're a closet musician, and it's time to take your instrument out of the closet? Hell, it's probably time to take you out of the closet and bring forth. I was so happy yesterday. I met this exceptional woman, exceptional beauty through and through, young in her early 30s. And she said, Lama G, what this has done for me, I can't even begin to tell you. I used to be so scared sometimes I didn't know whether I wanted to go out of the house, she said to me. My hands would sweat, my feet would sweat. She says, the public speaking was the fear of all. And I told her, sweetheart, don't worry about that. That was Lama G's biggest fear when I was 13 years old, less than a year out of major surgery. I said, and Spirit put me in an oral and nonverbal communication class. Did that. And I would all do the same process. Who would have ever thought that one day that I'd be speaking to millions of people and be broadcasting and making a living with my biggest fear? Did you know that public speaking is people are more afraid to do that than they are of death itself? It'll show you. Today, she's teaching 2 or 3 classes in Pennsylvania. Found out she had art and music in the closet. She was bringing art out of the room, stuff she drew when she's 14, 15 years old. I was mesmerized of how talented this lady is. And I said, you need to be a part of the building committee because we need extra artists right now to help us sketch what we want. Our ideas and our vision need to be written down and drawn. And she got it. So she'll be in there. And then she tells me she's a musician too. And I said, well, you need to get on with Master David. I said, you were live streaming at Tucson, right? She said, absolutely. I said, did you see the amazing things that Sister Lisa and Brother Nate and their child Susan and Penny Ince and Mary Ann from, Mississippi? I said, do you see what Master David's putting together? It's only the beginning, only the beginning. So we're bringing a taste of Eden to the hotels. Isn't that wild? That you can actually feel Edenic hotel. And we're trying more and more to get these hotels in that natural places so that our people can be out in nature in between going to functions. And Tucson, when we look back 2 or 3 years from now, it will be the standard. Eventually, everywhere we will go will be some form of a beautiful resort. So it'll be a combination of a vacation for you, but a combination of returning home to see your family, your spiritual family. That's what's important, right? Because your spiritual family always has your back. Your spiritual family understands the Ediac consciousness. Your spiritual family understands that the feminine and the divine masculine are equally important because we don't sweep that under the carpet. We don't pretend. That's why this whole month we've been talking about the Divine Mother. We're not going to sweep her under the table. Boganathar Hanuman would not allow that to happen 1 minute because he has too much devotion to the Divine Mother. And so should you, and so should we all. Let us together return back to the Eden state of consciousness. Let us return back to the tree of life on earth through us as it is in Abba's heaven, on earth through us as it is in heaven. You feel that? Barak Mubashad, may the blessings be to you and to your glorious people. I know we're a little long today. Enjoy your weekend. Worship your God. Be a blessing to someone in a way that they can't be that blessing to themselves. Take your focus off yourself and what can you do to serve humanity? What can you do to make Lama Ji and Master David proud to represent the circle of the chi, beyond ego, beyond the little self? Give to the big self. God bless you. See you bright and early Monday. Don't be late now. God bless.